Wood grain not matching up is a dead giveaway, but when done right, it is really hard to tell the difference between solid wood and veneer furniture. So let's talk about it because there is a big difference. So this is solid wood and this is veneer. Once again, solid wood, veneer. Veneer is a very, very thin layer of wood, sometimes only a few millimeters thick, that is pasted on to another material to make the entire piece of furniture look like it's solid wood. So veneer is real wood, but it's just a thin layer, so it can be chipped and damaged and you can't really refinish it. So a super common example of the use of veneer would be in a nice finished piece of plywood where the top layer could be something more expensive like a red oak, and then the other layers are something less expensive like birch, but it's still a red oak plywood. The problem with veneer is that there's such a range of quality, and one big factor is the thickness. Obviously, the thicker the better, because the more material you have, you're able to refinish things once they get inevitably dinged up over time. And that's what we do with hardwood floors. Hardwood floors are veneer. It's not going to be 2 inches or an inch thick of whatever fancy wood, usually oak or something like that. It's a veneer on top of another substrate, and that's your hardwood floor. But with furniture, it's maybe 4 millimeters thick, 5 millimeters. With furniture, you're talking much thinner. And that's where issues come in, because once it chips, it can be repaired, but it's a lot harder. The other major question in terms of quality is, what is the veneer mounted onto? Because there are pieces of furniture where the structure is still solid wood. It's just a less expensive or less rare variety, but you're getting all the benefit of a super solid, heavy, sturdy piece of furniture with a really nice expensive wood as the finish. And then of course there's the molded plywood design classics, which is technically veneer, but I think it gets a huge pass. It's almost a different category onto itself because you can't do molded plywood without thin pieces of wood, which is veneer. But it's very different to me because it's not masquerading as a different material. Which brings me to why I hate things like particle board, which is like the IKEA solution, because it really is the definition of a really cheap material that is going to degrade over time, masquerading as solid wood through the use of veneers. And I just think that that is so wasteful and ultimately is just a not high quality product.